Well, hello, hello, welcome everybody. It's good to see your faces again. This is Out of the Bird Progress, brought to you by our Christopher and looking for my stupid name here, Avery here. We are, as you can see, a little bit light this weekend, mostly because Shamar and Peter are unfortunately not able to join us, and we're here to take their place. So it's good to see you all. I was outside of I wasn't able to make it to our last meeting, but hey, I'm here now, right? Anyway, Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. And to add some light to that Peter and Shamar situation, Peter was acting up again, so we had to have Shamar hold him back. So that's why Peter and Shamar are not here. Shamar graciously sacrificed himself to keep Peter away from here because he kept acting out. So appreciate you, Shamar. Keep doing what you're doing. And Peter, we'll let you come back next week if you're acting right, but we'll see.
I don't know.
Yeah. Again, that's why I hit that we'll see, because you never know with Peter.
Excellent. Well, since we are a little bit understaffed today, Chris, did you want to start us off with our first topic of the day, which is what is common sense to you?
Sure. And I don't even know exactly how to start this off because, we just full disclosure, everybody, we did have some topics today, but neither I nor Avery were educated on them much. And I figured since neither Peter nor Shamar was going to be here, it's maybe we'll just do something else. So common sense came up because it seems like a lot of people don't have it.
Yes, and it's funny you should say that. It's just like some of the crazy stuff that's been happening in the news of late, and then some things are happening across the pond. Things are crazy. One of the things that is trending this week is whether or not you should wear your N95 mask. They are offering better protection, and the CDC has came out with a recent statement saying they should always be on. You should not have a woven cloth mask. They are less protective. But do you have any thoughts on that, Chris?
Yeah, well, first off, I do think people, should heed that warning because honestly, like I was telling you beforehand, even when COVID first came out, I thought it was kind of strange that we only needed a piece of a layered piece of cloth that, like we said earlier, wind could blow through and you could feel it. And that was enough to protect you from this virus, but you could still feel the wind against your face. So I always thought that was weird. So I think this is a natural progression, especially with how contagious this virus is and how susceptible it is. I know several people just this week who've got it actually. It's actually kind of crazy because my mom even was telling me oh yeah, such and such got it again. Has COVID this week, and then a few friends caught COVID. It's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah, it blows my mind. They were supposed to be this new variant is supposed to be new. New variant supposed to be new. It's supposed to be more contagious, but less potent or something like that.
Are you talking about the IHU or are you talking about the
I think I was trying to refer to Omicron. I didn't know there was a third variant.
Yeah, there's been another variant detected. I think it's IHU.
I love it. Yeah. It's it kind of blows my mind. And yeah, but we were talking about people who were getting it recently. My cousin actually ended up getting it, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Let me step back a little bit. And yeah, it's when we were talking about the mask, the COVID ones, the cloth mask, because I was just sitting there thinking this is a virus at the end of the day. If it's pumped through a filtration system at your local Walmart or something, everybody's getting it. So it was. Yeah, it just kind of blows me that we're still kind of struggling with this a little bit after so long. I mean, it's been coming up on 2 years now, and we're still trying to get people to wear their masks.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, well, that's actually one of the biggest things to me because it's not that big of a deal. I see small children doing it, and I see people on who actually have breathing issues do it. So I know you're somebody semi-healthy just walking down some Walmart aisle can definitely use it, but they refuse to because it's impeding their rights somehow.
Yeah,
Because they think they're being controlled by the government through a mask that is bought from Walmart.
strange
I don't
idea.
know.
No, you're perfectly right. Like, why are we still handling this? And we probably should have known when all the toilet paper disappeared within the first month of the first variant. So yeah, that's so strange to me. But here we are in 2022.
And another thing is just like I don't understand how people can. Well, two things like for those who like deny the virus, like who's still saying it's not real, because there's still people saying it's not real. Somehow, I don't truthfully know how that's even possible at this point in time. Because it's not just America; it's literally the entire world. Like every country's been affected by this, to my understanding.
Yeah, everybody has. Australia has some of the most stringent, protocols, and we're seeing that with I don't know what that dude's name is.
The tennis player.
Yeah, the tennis player. Not Australian. I think he's like Austrian or something. But he's supposed to be like the best in the world or something.
Yeah.
And he like refuses to get the vaccine. And I'm like, my dude, it's saving your life. You're like, I'm pretty sure you like your elaborate lifestyle,
Yeah, but he got off on some quote unquote health reasons he didn't have to take it, but I don't know exactly what it is, so it sounds kind of sus, the whole reason. But again, I don't know. I don't want to assume that he doesn't have any health issues than he actually does. But you know what I'm saying, right? It just sounds kind of convenient that he didn't get it because he has quote unquote health issues.
Yeah, because he actually winded up. He's actually in country right now, but they're trying to cancel his visa because it's Australia. It's so funny to me because like every time they catch him on something or to delay him for a little bit, he figures out some type of way to weasel around it. And so recently he said I was exempt in Austria, right? And then he gets to Australia and after this whole little debacle, and he sits there and says my travel agent filled out the paperwork wrong. And it's just like, okay, what else is next? And the third one said he's like, I didn't know or something like that. It was along the lines of that. I'm just like, dude, you're fighting this tooth and nail. You're all over the news. You could potentially lose this open. I mean, let me rephrase that. You could potentially be expelled from this open because you don't have the vaccine. Like, it's not that big of a deal, and he's blown it out of proportion.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you feel that strongly about not getting it, you should getting it is probably like the requirements to even be in like the area for it in the country for it. Then or continent really. Then I think you should just back away from this one, set it out, relax.
Yeah, just like sit this season out. It's cool. Like you'll be back next year.
They're probably gonna make a biopic on this stuff.
They probably are. What was it? That's not related. I was trying to think of like the winter preliminaries for the US. Yeah, it's not related, so I won't leave that.
Yeah. Oh, and my second thing, which I completely forgot about, was people who think the vaccine is like after they get the vaccine, they're immune to it. It's kind of like I do understand that slightly, but at the same time, it's just like there is no vaccine that you ever taken in your life that you're absolutely immune from that disease. So I don't know where this like information or this ideology where it came from, where it's just like if I get this vaccine right now, I'm completely immune to this. Like I even had to tell somebody this week, it's kind of like the flu vaccine you get every year, but you can still get the flu. You can still catch the flu. You can get the flu right after you get the vaccine.
Yeah, like the thing that blows me is people way smarter than me and study this for a living decided that, hey, we should be wearing masks, and I decided not to. It's very like I'm probably going to follow who's the people that study it a lot more than versus my, gut or something.
Right. It's like you're going. It's like you're going to McDonald's for your medical advice, and just assuming that guy's right because he's the manager of that McDonald's.
Yeah, it blows me, and it's kind of funny because we were talking about this earlier before we started filming. It's like I was reading on Reddit. This guy was talking about he went to his garage for to get his car fixed up from his mechanic. His mechanic stopped him earlier and was telling him all about the vaccine and everything, about how he was doing his research on it, and came out with these crazy conspiracy theories. And he stopped the guy right there, well, according to the Redditor, and told him, I don't hire you to do research on things on things that the government tells me to. He's like, I don't hire my epidemiologist to fix my car. No. So, and he's like, I'm not going to trust you to give me information that I could research myself. So it was just like that kind of knowledge and mindset is I just like kind of put it in perspective for me. It's like there's a lot of people out there that are just going out about their day and thinking, well, I'm going to follow my gut and see where that takes me,
And another thing with the whole like doing your own research, which I do understand, like you should definitely, do your best to look up and understand whatever information is coming at you, especially with this virus. But it's just like when it was coming to this vaccine, especially earlier on, I don't know what research people are really doing except for like looking up like articles and like reactions from other people. Because like I highly doubt that people were sitting down and looking at peer-reviewed articles and or just like sitting down and reading like results on the CDC website or wherever possible information like from like documented like expert or documents from experts were being like listed out for you to read and then make your own like judgments off of. I highly doubt the majority of people were doing that, or the fact that like Google Scholar is a thing. You can go on Google Scholar and there is a few decent articles about this stuff, leaning both ways, and so you can definitely go on there and do some research. Granted, you probably won't understand what they're saying because when I did it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know what they were saying. Like, after you got to Google, like I don't know, like your 10th word is just like this is above you. This is above you. I know enough now. Thank you.
Yeah, like the last the last biology paper that I actually looked up because for some reason I was in the interwebs or whatever. Like they started talking about proteins and protein synthesis and how like there's inhibitors that like block the thing and that's how you get poisoned. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, what is this? Like, I have no idea. Is this a game? Like, so it's so confusing. It's like, it was beyond me, I just kind of wanted to capitalize on
that. Yeah, no, definitely. And it's just, I don't know. People are just like, information is so readily available, but people are so ready to ignore it. And that just bothers me. Because it's just like people be like, well, you got a phone, Google it. But then nobody ever Googles anything that's actually like important. They'll Google whether Kim Kardashian is still dating dude from SNL. Pete Davidson. But they literally won't look at what type of mask that they should be wearing for this COVID because it's too much effort.
Blows my mind. Like it and Don't Look Up recently, it's kind of like an exaggeration of just like people and how they react and stuff. And it was a pretty good representation, I guess. Totally not related. That was literally a comic movie comment coming down and hitting people. Yeah. That's all I got on that topic. Yeah. Care to take over, Chris? I just called you Peter.
It's okay. It's my full beard and commanding. I don't know. I thought I had something there, but
commanding presence or
commanding presence, I guess. But no, I tried. I'm not gonna scratch that. Y'all gonna see me fumble there.
You gotta watch out. It sounds like Chris is coming for you. Stop.
I was coming for that PS5. That's what I'm coming for. Shout out PA.
Those things are still hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, bro, they really are. Like it was. I think I saw it was a shortage or something. I'm just wondering, like how is it still a shortage? It's been 3 years, 2 years, 3 years.
Just about.
I think it was like no, it was literally that winter. That first winter of COVID. So was that 2020? So 2 years ago? No, not 2 years ago. I guess a little over a year ago. So about 2 years ago, right? No, I don't know. But it's been a while. Okay, however long it's been a while, and they're still having like PS5 shortages, which is nuts to me. It's like, how do you have a system out for an entire year, and it's just like we still can't make enough of it?
And that's the say it's not about plastic and some hardware. I mean, the stuff is literally down the street at your, refurbished computer shop or whatever.
Right.
I guess
we just got that grip on us.
So yeah, tell me about it. Like, I just saw a commercial recently with State Farm, and I was just sitting there thinking, the premise was they were trying to allure gamers and everything, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, are they going to start off making me pay insurance for a hard drive now?
Right.
I mean, you already got my car, you got my home, you got what else do? They do motorcycle and all that other crazy stuff, and I'm just like, dude, I can't even afford enough for food. What you mean? I gotta pay this too.
That would be insane. Like, you have to have insurance on like your on like the internals of your gaming system. That'd be nuts. Actually, like you're paying a monthly fee just to have your own gaming system. Well, I guess we kind of already do that with online, but another one.
Yeah, it's too much. Like I'm really considering just like getting some super expensive computer and downloading crap through Steam after a while, because I'm really getting tired of all this.
Yeah, no, that's actually the better option, being real. Like I'm not a computer gamer, but maybe one day, because it's just I feel like it's just so much easier.
It is to some extent, and like you have to like. Well, personally, I won't get one because I'm working in front of a computer every day. I don't necessarily want to do that to relax when I get home or whatever. But yeah, that's actually I think that, Chris, are you good? Because I'm about to wrap up this topic here.
Yeah, no, I'm cool.
Go on, honestly.
Yeah, no, we're fine. Go ahead. Change it to whatever.
Change it to whatever. So, so let's stay away from the real world stuff. Let's go back to escapism. Yeah, escapism. Speaking of escapism, I was reading this recent article about just BioShock and the whole premise of it. Like, this guy was talking about how BioShock has seen its heyday, and we don't need to go back to those types of games and stuff because of like the social issues that are happening lately. But yeah, it was an interesting article because he was attacking Adam Levine, basically. He was trying to like equate that to like how white artists are like all over the industry and stuff and all this other things. Like, the guy was all over the place in the article, and then at the end of the day, he came back and said BioShock is reminiscent of the past and whatnot. And I'm like, the fourth game is coming out. It's under development, but yeah, it was also just like a moniker, just saying a lot of the video game industry is kind of just repeating stuff like the movies and whatnot, and just saves time, saves energy, so they just keep hashing out the same tricks. And they're kind of worried that we're in a bubble right now. We're trying to see what's going to happen to the landscape, and I'm like, relax, They said it literally about anything that becomes too popular, so it's kind of blows me. I'm like, if you look at the last bubble that we had for electronics, there was the internet came from it. So
yeah, and I get that too, because it's just like basically nowadays, if you want a popular video game like instantly, is you're going to make it free, but it's going to be like a pay to or no, it's going to be basically a gacha game, and then it's probably going to be like battle royale or something similar to
Squid Game.
What's that?
Squid Game.
Oh no, not Squid Game. I'm talking about like an actual like video game.
Oh,
it's Genshin Impact. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, Genshin Impact. Yeah.
It's either going to be like a game like Genshin Impact or another game that's also free to play like Apex, which is a battle royale game. Those are like really hot type of games to play right now. And they're both free to play, but you like all the in-game purchases that you make from like the companies make like a fortune back because it's so addictive. And then like they make it like super hard to get, like you'll like your first few rolls or whatever, you'll probably get like a few like super rares and a super rare or whatever, deluxe super rare, depending on whatever game you're playing. And then you might even get like ultra rare. And then all of a sudden you're like hitting this dry spell. And then you're next thing you know, you've run out all your free tokens. And then you can either grind and try to get some more, trying to like get all the whatever tokens you need to get more characters. Or the easy thing, you could pay $5 and get 10 free rolls for whatever, trying to get whatever character you're trying to get that just been released. And then, $60 later, you finally got that character. And then you basically buy a whole PS5 game.
Man,
I mean, now it's just like they've already got you in here because it's just like you like, and you're probably only like $60 a month on the single game. You just think, well, it's just $5 every time you're doing it, but you really want these characters because like they got like these whatever stats, or they just look cool. Or you got to catch them all, like Pokemon. But it's just like it has that addictive spell on you, kind of like gambling.
Yeah, it really does, and it's very time consuming and everything. I've been a sucker and paid too much for Paladins at the time. That was fun because I was trying to get this one character and it's like one costume or whatever, and I realized I spent like $10 and I'm like, I hate this game now.
No, I've definitely like played a gacha game in the past, and I paid like $10 on it, and then I don't think I even got the character that one. I was just like, never again. I just felt scorned. But it was just like, I can definitely see how people get like addicted to it because it's just like it's a little free to play game, and I'm over here spending my actual money on it. Like, no, thank you. But people get addicted to like that feeling after you get whatever card or whatever character you're trying to get. My voice cracked. But and it's pretty ingenious, to be honest with you, because you're just like nickel and diming it the whole time, and you're not really thinking you're spending that much money. The next thing you know, you spent like $200 on this free game after you already you already downloaded it for free.
Like, it's funny you should say that. Like, literally, I've been obsessed with this little mobile game called Suspects. It's really cool. You're playing these cute little animals. Please omit that. I should never use the word cute in a sentence. But it's these adorable little animals. They're missing like little arms and stuff, and it's like a murder mystery game where you're running around this mansion trying to like get out the killers, or before the killers murder everybody. It's really cool. You guys should give it a try. But it's addictive. And there's lobbies full of 6-year-olds, which is really annoying. But they have these little costumes all the time, and they get you on the gems, which is like this in-game currency. And there's the what am I going with this? Oh, it's expensive. Yeah, that's what it was. It's super expensive. Just buying the costumes at the gyms and everything, you can wind up spending about $50 on just the material itself, and they're acting like, oh, well, if we do this, you can get this, and that. So it's just really predatory and not cool,
Yeah, no, and that's exactly like how a lot of these games are like built,
So I'm looking at you.
You don't even realize it until like you're already in it. Or till you like you wake up from like your hazy little dream, they're just like, what have I been doing?
Yeah, like you, it's like that stupor you always get from, back during undergrad when you were going to study and you spend like hours in the library and you come out and you're like, where did my life just go? you know,
Exactly.
that little drained feeling. You're tired. You don't know what you did, but you know it was worth it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least you're praying to when that midterm shows up. But yeah,
Right.
oh man, it blows my mind. Yeah. So, what is new with you, Chris? Is there anything that's happening in your neck of the woods?
Anything new? Well, I'm starting school next week. No, so I'm hoping and praying everything with that goes well. But you know, don't know exactly what to expect. I looked online this earlier this week trying to see if I need to order a book for it, and I don't apparently.
That's
But
nice.
still kind of nervous. Looked over some of the old stuff, and I even looked at like the class description. It's nothing I'm not like unfamiliar with, but still, it's just like the harder version of this though. you know.
I know you're doing environmental engineering, but like, what is beyond the knowledge base in it and having the math? Like, what is this shallow realm that you were talking about?
Oh, with the math, or you mean?
Just like in general, because I know it's hard, but I don't know exactly what you do.
Oh well, I mean to be specific, like environmental engineering is like very broad field, but I'm looking more so into like the water aspect, like water, not well, yeah, water preservation, but like just like water treatment. There we go.
Okay, because I was thinking sanitation and something else.
I mean, technically it's sanitation as well. If you ever been to a water plant,
those things are humongous. Yeah, well, I've noticed that like when you get older and you just start talking and you pretend that you know what you're talking about, people usually don't challenge it because they don't know what you're talking about. so.
No, if I know you, I probably challenge it. But if I don't know you, I just be like, oh, okay. And in my head, I'm thinking this person doesn't know at all.
Facts. Someone asked me like a sub data processing question. I'm just like, dude, I'm just a basic guy who makes graphs. Like, I don't know how to answer your question. I'm not going to pretend I know how to answer your question because I can't.
Yeah, no, I had that same experience at work one time. Somebody was saying like a lot of these big words, and I was just like, hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know. I'm still relatively new to this position. I don't know what you're asking, but it always does feel good. Like when somebody like just like when you put that out in the open, just like, okay, I don't know what you're asking me, so let's rephrase that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because like it is awkward at first, but like if somebody's actually like, oh, okay, as opposed to like like a jerk or something.
Yeah, it's like you're helping a guy out.
Yeah,
I picked up a job at the USPS, and I remember during orientation, like I had lost my badge, trying to get into the building and everything, and I was literally just sitting there, lunch, waiting to get back in class, and during the trainings and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm stuck here. I can't do anything. And I'm sitting there looking around and I'm like, there's no one here to help me. Like, what do I do? Right. I felt like a little kid lost in this, like, at school or something. So I'm looking around. I find this old dude who's walking in and, I'm bearing this guy down behind, like making sure he doesn't walk past me. And I walk into his way and I'm like, hey, how are you? I'm lost. Can you open this door for me? I promise I won't shoot the place up, just things like that. And I have no idea where I was going with that. But it was kind of like that.
No, I get it. You were like asking somebody for help when you didn't really know.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was asking for help because I had no idea what to do. It's such a weird thing because it's kind of puts you in a vulnerable position and you don't want to be in.
And see, I don't even know. Well, I mean, like, yes, that is like a vulnerable position, but I don't really feel like that necessarily makes you like vulnerable as a person. It's just like you. I feel like it's more so as like a acknowledgement of like I said, it's a vulnerability though. Like to acknowledge like you're like you can't do something by yourself. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's because you're asking for help, and people don't like that for some reason.
But I don't. When I do that, I don't feel like it like I'm weak or anything. It's just like I can't get done what I'm doing if I if I have no deal with if I have no idea like what's going on. If I need help here, it'd be stupid just to sit here and do nothing. I feel like that's weaker.
I feel like it is to some extent. But then you're like, also you're an adult now. Just like, how do you function? So it's not my prime directive. But yeah, that's like all I got to say on that.
Yeah, no, just adulting. Adulting be hard. For you young guys out there, you young kids, adulting is hard.
Yeah, like have you ever noticed like some of those like songs that were talking about like past 25 and 26 or whatever? You start to realize it why they wrote that song, and you're just like they were in a different place at the time. Yeah, it's not fun, not fun at all.
Yeah, and you also realize that there are dumb questions out there. Like like teachers were like, there are no dumb questions. They're playing dumb questions. Just and people who will make you feel like you're asking a dumb question, whether it is or isn't. So just also be aware of that for you young guys out there.
Just say it with your chest. No one's going to judge you. I mean, they're going to judge you.
They're take pride in knowing that they will judge you.
It's the best way to do it. Yeah, I was just sitting there thinking because I was looking at the text messages again or whatever, and there's apparently Navient has erased the bill for like 66,000 student loan guys or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm just sitting there thinking like they just offloaded like most of their contracts to a different provider, so everything that they had was residual. So there wasn't a lot of money left over. So it was easier for them to just offload that stuff and make themselves look better in this legal battle that they're about to face. Mm-hmm. But it kind of blew me because I'm like, how many people are actually getting this grant, this freedom from debt, right?
Right, not me. I didn't even know that was a student. I didn't even know that was a student loan thing until I actually read the little article. It was an article, a little headline that you had.
It was just a heading that I sent you guys because I was just scrolling. I'm like, this blew me. I couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, no. But so you said they were doing it for like to make them look better in this legal battle that they're about to have. Like,
yeah.
What they do.
I don't remember who's exactly suing them, but they're trying to get them for negligent business practices and keeping students in debt longer by forcing them to pay higher premiums on their monthly rates or whatever. Mm. And I'm like, yeah, but literally every financial institution does that. So I wonder how much they're actually going to catch them on. And plus, they're like the biggest contractor for student loans or whatever for the U.S. government. But yeah, long story short, they were trying to make themselves look better in this appeals case before they go to court. Yeah, definitely it's so weird. Like I guess this goes back to like the common sense theme here or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like why? There was this woman. Did you hear about that chick that was trying to scam all these investors out of that blood testing machine?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Oh man, so the machine actually was never completed, and they never had planned to complete it anyway. So she was over there in Silicon Valley getting a bunch of guys to sign up on this stuff, and her being Caucasian and blonde and blue-eyed, right, was able to pull all these people in. And then fast forward 10 years later, she never delivers. Not 10 years later, but a couple months later, she never delivers, and they winded up catching her. And now they finished her legal battle, and now she's in prison actually.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and I'm just sitting here thinking like she didn't do anything wrong, but other than try to scam a bunch of rich people out of their money. So I mean, it just kind of like blows me what they make limits for, not limits, excuses for.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, like when you're not rich, you don't get that privilege. If she was rich and tried to scam them, she probably have like a light sentence on it, like or not even really sentence. She probably be like like house arrest, but like she can still do all the same stuff.
I mean, it was still a pretty big company. Like she was well on her way to becoming, rich and famous or whatever. Fat cat type stuff.
Yeah,
like Warbucks type. But yeah, it was. That's what it was. Someone got. It was a whistleblower. That's what it was. Yeah, so someone snitched and she went down because they realized they couldn't get out of it. Like that's the thing that blows me about the whistleblowers. It's like it's the guy who's going to be on your team who decides, hey, we can't get out of this one. I'm gonna go snitch and go see if I can get some more money before we all go down for this court case.
Mm-hmm. So was one.
It's always that one guy. I have no idea what else I wanted to talk about.
Watching a good anime lately?
Chris, of course I have. Who do you think I am? Let me stop. So I've been like really caught up on Shaman King, mostly because I saw that back when I was a kid and stuff on Disney, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the shit. They got the Shaman King, right? Let me go check this out on Netflix. So I'm looking through it, I'm reading through it. That show is violent as I don't know what. I had no idea why I was watching that as a child.
A lot of the shows we were watching was violent.
This kid is like 10 years old or whatever. Ash Ketchum or whatever, but he wants to be this relaxed, chill out person, sort of like a Monkey D. Luffy, and he realizes, everybody's counting on him, so he has to become the king of the universe, basically, which is the Shaman King. And it kind of blew me because they're smooth killing these dudes. There's like these horrible abnormalities of monsters and spirits running around, and I'm just like, this is like some Inuyasha level crap of just like the disturbiness of the genre and everything. I mean, it's not as blood and gore and stuff, but I'm like, and maybe it's because I've been playing too many horror games lately. Shout out to Scorn. Hopefully that comes out later this year. But yeah, they had Vlad Tepes show up. Dracula as one of the shamans. He uses blood to basically fly around and all these other things. And I'm just sitting here thinking, this is like this super powered villain who's like the guy was just raw, and I was sitting here thinking, this is not a kid show. But yeah, I feel like I'm rambling, so go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, and it's like that for like a lot of these shows that we used to watch when we were like younger. Like, I don't know if you remember, if you watched or if you remember Dragon Ball, like the first part of the Dragon Ball series, like Dragon Ball, when Goku was a kid. Goku would run around basically like destroying the Red Ribbon Army, and by destroying, he was like killing them.
Yeah,
he was killing like an entire army of people by himself as a child.
I was about to send this to you guys.
Oh, yep. See, he busted through King Piccolo. Like, there's
that's the dude from that meme, like the Ivan meme. Is it in focus? Awesome. But hopefully you guys saw it.
yeah, kind of. But yeah, he's just like, Goku's body count when he was a child was like terrific. It was huge.
Like, and you can imagine like the type of person that he is now. It's just like, what is wrong with you?
And it's just like, he's like, back then, like when he killed somebody, it wasn't necessarily like they'd be like a bloody mess, but they like explode into dust. And it's just like, we know what that means. he just killed this person. He poofed them out of existence by extinguishing their life.
Exactly. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Just going back to Shaman King real quick. Like, there's literally this villain running around. He's supposed to be the main character's like brother, but he's like possessed by something. But this dude goes so hard that he literally wipes people from existence, right? And when he kills somebody, he kills the spirit and the person, and he he had this one hard line where he was like, "I am sorry it's come to this, but now you must be turned to oblivion." I was like, bro.
So he's the edgelord villain, is what you're telling me.
He's the edgelord villain. He has the the crazy hair, the down. He talks down to everybody. But I'm just like, wiping a dude from existence, to when they're just atoms. That's hard. Like, I mean, I can't even think of a Naruto villain that was that evil.
Well, Madara, if he could.
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, Madara's just a dude. But
he went through an entire army of people, literally just boxing them.
Yeah, for a warm up. Exactly. Like, he was just playing with them earlier, and then what was it? Kabuto was so here's a little spoiler. Kabuto was just asked if he could do anything else, and he's like, "Of course I am. I'm Madara." Just drops the moon on them dudes.
Right. My favorite line of that whole part is just like, they cut the first one. He's like, "What about the second one?" It's like, why? Because in my head, I'm just like, one is bad enough. Why did he even think about the second one? Exactly. What do you like? If you do your job right, there everyone's dead with the first one, and he's just like, okay, so you got the first one. Well, what about the second one? Like, he already knew they could stop that.
Like, he was so far ahead of them. It took 2 moons to kill this guy. Right. When he was in the reanimation form, and he let himself die at the second impact. So it just kind of blows me how OP this dude was. And then there's like a bunch of like YouTubers who are like trying to power scale War Arc Madara versus the Boruto characters, and I'm like, War Arc Madara is a completely different sphere versus Boruto, who is just like literally Dragon Ball Z at this time.
Yeah, you can honestly say like Madara at that point was like at least a continental like threat, on account like he was literally dropping like moon-sized asteroids from space somehow.
And you saw what he did with his perfect Sasuna or whatever, like literally ripping apart the continent. Like,
yeah, like he sliced mountains in half with the shockwave.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, it took what's his face, the Flash, Naruto's daddy, to literally teleport this dude because he was so powerful, But yeah, this one of those things. Like, power scaling is so annoying, especially like when they try to do it with this new series. What's his face? They got. You know what? I want to stay away from this. It's too much. It's making my head hurt.
Yeah, no, Boruto's too much. I don't even watch Boruto. It's just too much. I said Naruto. It was over with Naruto, and I'm good with that. But I heard the manga's good though.
The manga is pretty good. From a few of the scenes that I've seen, from a few of the scenes that I have read, it's just too over the top. Like, Naruto loses the tail beast. I mean, that's kind of obvious by now, but
I was very, very disheartened because I was even thinking about reading it at one point. Then I heard that I was like, never, never. I was only in it for Kurama.
But someone like tried to explain it. He did a pretty good job. He had some math, crazy math. And he was basically saying that Naruto, base Naruto, without his chakra and everything else, was about as strong. Not about as strong. He's literally the strongest Hokage. And I'm like, that's kind of a name. That's kind of a stretch if you ask me, but I'm like, it kind of makes sense considering he was literally as fast as the Raikage. He's supposed to be the fastest ninja out there. And I'm like, what's the point of speed in this universe anyway? So
Yeah, honestly, because I mean, like, and for power scalers, like, I don't know, like shows like Naruto where they have like kind of inconsistent scale sometimes, and then like people get depowered, and you're not really sure when somebody's using like their full strength. You know,
Yeah,
it's kind of I feel like it's hard to like accurately judge how strong someone is because like even in that Naruto movie, Naruto tanked a hit that cut the moon in half.
yeah.
He seemed perfectly fine after that. Like he,
Yeah, it just made no sense. Like, go ahead.
no, it's just like, but just by like that, just that mathematic like calculation alone, that's probably like one of the hardest hits in Naruto, and he was perfectly fine.
Exactly.
But he's, you know, like he's like still able to like somehow get stabbed on the stomach by some kid with a knife, and it ran, or it was or let a sword run through him, but he was able to take that completely. Granted, he was in base form when he got run through with that sword, because that was the little bit of Boruto I did see, and yeah, no, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, granted, I'm fully aware like Kurama has like that super ability to make him like super and everything, super defense, super regeneration, super strength, and all that, but for him to be able to take that, just that alone, it was again just to reiterate, he cut the moon in half, but dude is still able to get like stabbed. Like you could run up and stab him on the street.
Oh yeah, it's not very fun. Because even when the guy was comparing Sasuke, now they quoted him as stronger than Madara, and I'm like, all right, get out of here. Like I refuse to believe that. But when he adult Sasuke, when he has like the Rinnegan and all this other stuff, and I'm like, it kind of makes sense after a while. I mean, Madara awakened the Rinnegan like a year before he died or whatever, so he never had time to master it. But I'm like, it also tells you how hard he actually goes because he's literally the first Uchiha who awakened the Rinnegan. Sasuke got his because he stole it from somebody. So, and like I don't know, like the power scaling's odd, especially when you try to think about it. But yeah, then you start going into sort of like that superhero era, just like how can we make this still feasible?
And it's just like for shows that like keep going on to kind of like Naruto and other like even like superhero stuff, like you were just saying, like I don't like you get like planetary threats, and then because they start off at street level, they start not street level, but like let's say a city level threat, like this person came to your city, like they're capable of killing everybody in it, probably even like the elite people, like when they fought Zabuza, like early on in Naruto. Really strong dude, but at the same time, he's probably not taking out a whole village, but maybe maybe a town worth of people, even the elites, you know what I'm saying? But he's not like somebody who can run up on a Hokage or anything, or somebody at that level.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like that's exactly how to describe it. It's like him running up on somebody.
And the thing with that was like he was considered strong for like a really long time. Even when the Akatsuki came in, he was still considered like a stronger person in the Naruto universe because like the fish guy, I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, the weird guy who turns into water or something.
Yeah, Kisame. Like he was probably like the seven swordsman of the mist, like Zabuza. Granted, Kisame is probably stronger than Zabuza, but probably relative, if that makes sense.
I don't know that. Bro got waxed by Rock Lee of all people. So I'm like, how strong is this guy actually?
No, it wasn't Rock Lee. It was
Might Guy.
It was Might Guy, but Might Guy actually turned out to be like one of the strongest people in the series too, though, because he went 7 gates.
He didn't open the 8th on his dude.
He didn't open up 8. He opened up 8 on Madara.
Oh yeah, he said, "I recognize you as the strongest." Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a Madara that also had 6 paths or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 6 paths and the 10 tails in them.
Yeah, that's funny. Taijutsu is the strongest. If he's ninjutsu every time. But yeah, I haven't actually been watching anything else other than I'm trying to finish season 3 of JoJo. It's a little odd. I kind of like the art style and what they did with it versus 16-year-old running through the desert with his friend trying to stop this intergalactic being who's just like supposed to be evil in his like purest form or something. Like Dio's the man. He's one of my favorite villains too. It's like him, Madara, and there's somebody else. I forget his name at the time.
No, Dio's a fun villain because it's just like when in that first season and it's kind of slow and a little bit boring. That first season of JoJo, it's like but then you get to like this third season when Dio's back. Spoiler alert for anybody who's seen it. It's been out for a while, but spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Dio's one of the most fun characters out there.
Yeah, he's just so like crazy and outlandish. Like the homie's literally a vampire, but they use him like a zombie too, and it's just like how's this even functioning? You should be dead.
Right? He's just like he's basically like a true immortal somehow.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing because like when they explored the idea of the Phantom Mask in the second season or whatever, with these with the Amazonian dudes running around.
No, the Pillar Man.
Yeah. Like they were defeated, and they're supposed to be the proprietors of the mask, right? So it's just like, what is Dio at the end of the day? And then he awakens psychic power, and it's just like, what? You can stop time,
right? And it was just like it, like to me that just seemed completely unfair. Like this superpowered being that can like has all these different superpowers, and all of a sudden, like you give him the control over time too. Just like what more do you want from us?
I don't know. I think he wants everything. Like he doesn't come back for season 4, as you can imagine, because he's just so overpowered. But I hear he comes back in like 5 or 6 or something like that. But it's supposed to be a little bit more fun as far as like how they do things.
Right.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird how they're keeping the timeline right now. Mostly because people who are still alive shouldn't still be alive. I'm not spoiling anything, but they literally did it as a plot device because they realized they couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you after we're done recording probably, but like they do something kind of about that in the manga to like make it, I guess, more digestible. More like for like the readers, but I'll tell you about that off air because that would be spoilers, and that's not fair to like the anime only people.
Yeah, I got you.
And even your anime only, so tell me if you don't want to hear it later. But yeah, I haven't really been watching that much anime. I've been saying for like since like October I was gonna be watching Tokyo Revengers, and I just haven't like. And I've seen like a few anime here and there. Nothing noteworthy to really talk about. I watched the little JoJo's here and there. Still working on Giorno season. I can't remember which one that one is. I think that's 5. Yeah, season 5. I think. Yeah. So working on that. But nothing really new. Nothing really new. Well, nothing new that I want to talk about.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, like I've been dying to watch Goblin Slayer in the second season of Demon King.
Demon Slayer?
Demon Hunter, yeah. Demon Hunter.
Demon Slayer.
My killers, but yeah.
You talking about the breathing technique, right?
Yeah, the breathing technique.
Yeah, Demon Slayer.
Yeah,
a lot of the anime heads I know watching that now.
Yeah, I mean it has some good. What's the word? It's got potential. I don't think it's going to reach the hype that they want to, mostly because I think a lot of that anime hype, back when it was new and not many people heard about it, made a lot of those shows a lot more popular, like Bleach.
The thing that I think got it like more popular and keeps it popular is like the artistry, because like the art is really good in it, and the story is somewhat decent. Like it could definitely be worse, and it's not, to be honest, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
but it could be a little bit better. And even I'm not going to spoil it, but like there's some creative decisions in it that I disagree with. They could have went a different way with it. I feel like it would have been more impactful to the story and would have had more people happy. But I'll tell you about it.
So does the character act out of character and become something else?
Well, that I think that does happen eventually. I haven't read that far into it, but I do think that actually does happen because my brother tells me spoilers. But that's not exactly what I'm referring to. But it's hard to talk about that without actually spoiling it sometimes.
Yeah, that's why.
See, that's why I'm glad this is not an anime podcast. I'd be spoiling. I'd for sure spoil.
Yeah, I got you. Like, I just let some spoilers out. I finished The Matrix the other day.
How was that?
Resolution. It was pretty good. Because like I saw it, and then like the next day they were playing like the very first one, and I was like, I saw that in the movie. Like it's called Revelation, not Revelation.
Resurrection.
And it's not a reboot, but it is a reboot. So it is what it is. I mean, we kind of had it coming. They made 6 movies of the same thing. I'm trying to figure out how much I can give you guys without spoiling it. It's pretty cool how they explained everything that led up to it, and there's a lot of Easter eggs in the first like 30 minutes of the movie, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you literally have scenes from the very first movie in this movie, which makes it pretty fun.
It does make it fun because then you go back and you look at like, oh, I see that happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you could actually tell the actors were enjoying it because there's that famous scene with Trinity opens up, she's kicking butt in the hotel room, and it's the opening scene. Don't hate me. But yeah, it's like they visit this location like 1999, 30 years later, basically. And then they copy it word for word, and it's just like so awesome reliving it, seeing it as a kid versus as an adult, and you're like, oh, I understand it, So it's really cool to see.
Yeah, no, that's definitely be cool to see. I don't know if I'm gonna see it in movies, but I'm gonna definitely probably see it at some point.
But yeah, it's like it's long. You're in for a ride.
Sound like it. From what I heard, it sounds like it too.
It's pretty good.
Not from you, but I think somebody else I know seen it. Oh, my dad saw it. Nice. He liked it.
Yeah, like I know my sister boycotts Keanu Reeves movies because she feels he's so overpopular. He's too popular for no reason. She still can't get over John Wick because she says the story is stupid, and whatever word that she used, the story is stupid and it doesn't make sense the amount of violence or death of a dog. And I'm like, I get it.
That's the whole thing of the movie, though. It's just like all of the guys doing all this impossible violence for his dog.
Yeah, like this guy curb stomps his like beagle. Like I would want to, like, well, maybe not. No, I wouldn't. But you do.
Like that was his one strain of sanity. You just took it away from him.
But basically, you saw what he was doing in the darn basement, like taking a sledgehammer to a cement. block just to dig up some things. And I'm like, dude, just go buy yourself a weapon if that, save you some time. It's more for the symbolism, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Matrix Reload is pretty good. Have you seen Spider-Man though?
I did. That was tough.
Okay, I would dare say we can end it here because I've been dying to speak to you about Spider-Man. Unless you just want to keep recording and whatnot.
We can. We talked about it a little bit last week too. So I mean, like, no, I don't think we'd say any spoilers that we haven't already.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, what did you think?
I really liked it, and Shamar was right. It, just I might spoiler warning for anybody who has who's still planning on watching it. I'll probably put like some time warning in here, maybe before this, tell you what time it'd be okay to clock back in. Yeah. And then I'll probably put something on the screen here too. But yeah, no, Shamar was definitely right when he said it's probably like they green screened out the other Spider-Mans. I was thinking like maybe it's Miles, because I thought that'd been cool. They brought Miles in, but I really like that they brought both of the other Peters back, there too.
Yeah, it was so weird. It was weird seeing it. I thought it was pretty cool, especially when the crowd's going wild. When they see each of their Spider-Mans that they identified with. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was just like a really nice tie up to those stories and whatnot. And especially my biggest gripe with the middle Spider-Man, I forget his name. Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, like especially like when they put him with Gwen Stacy or whatever, and I'm like, I get it, she's in some of the comics, like that's totally cool, but MJ's the girl or whatever. And then how they referenced that how he lost his MJ, and they used like it was really cool illusion. I forget what it was. It was like I lost Gwen Stacy, she was my version of MJ. That's what it was. It was really cool. Then he gets his own little redemption arc when he stays falling off the thing. Then homeboy starts like tearing up. She's like, "You okay?" He's like, "No, I just need a minute." So the crap was funny. I couldn't deal with it. But yeah, I kept hoping that they would bring what was it? Not Kristen Bell, Kristen Dunst. Yeah, back rather briefly for a cameo. But yeah, it was really cool tie up. Again, I watched Spider-Man 2 and kind of saw Doc Ock and all this other stuff, and I'm like, this is word for word from this movie. This is fantastic. Like I was geeking out, because Doc died, and he shows up on a bridge, and he's like, I have no idea what happened. I died, and now I'm here. I need to finish my project.
The only thing that I don't get what they did, why they kept doing it, because it never came into play, is like Doc Ock kept looking at the like the nanobot machine that had his arms under control that Peter had. Mm-hmm. He kept looking at it like through his cage, like he was actually going to like do something to get it. So I assumed they were alluding to it, because every time he'd be left alone, they would show like he's looking at it, and he never was able to do anything with it.
Yeah, I think that was just like some of the limits of what they can actually show a little bit. I mean, like you have six heroes, 6 villains or something.
Yeah.
You have like,
let's just say 6, Sinister 6, so might be 6.
Like it's like I was just thinking how powered can they make these 6 individuals? I mean, they literally have a boosted version of Shockwave.
Electro.
Yeah, Electro, Jamie Foxx, who's literally just free entropy. Like how you stop that? Sandman's free entropy. Like, yeah, it's a lot that they were dealing with. Realistically, Spider-Man should have got waxed, but whatever.
Another thing is, Sandman flipped real quick.
Yeah,
I don't understand how he got on the villain side when they were trying to actually do like the opposite of what he was doing.
yeah, he's
It
the
didn't
main
really make
advocate for
sense
it.
to me how that worked. You know?
Mhm. It's like Homeboy's like, I'm gonna be neutral here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and side with the villains. And like it was just weird because the way they played it up, he was like, I think I'm just gonna run away. And then he's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna go kill Spider-Man.
Cause he wanted to press the thing and leave. So
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense like he would have been like more so with the Spider-Man faction. But like he was just like villains, which didn't make sense at all because they wanted to destroy it and make sure it or like hold it and make sure that they couldn't go back because they wanted to stay.
Exactly.
So
Because
I didn't get how he like the logical term for them was like, well, he can't trust him, so he might as well go with them because he couldn't trust them either. I guess was the logical term, but like uh that didn't make sense to me. I don't know. He
it
just because
didn't.
he was definitely like in at the end of his movie, he was definitely a good leaning character.
It was. I was a little bit bummed that what's his face didn't have his own villain. The new guy. What's the new guy's name?
Uh, what is his name?
Whatever, the current Spider-Man.
I can't think of his name right now.
Me either. It's like I think it's just so many characters or whatever. Um, but yeah, I was kind of bummed he didn't have his own rival or whatever, so they just gave him the Goblin, and I was like, come on, dude. Like,
I mean, but they did let Aunt May die though. They did.
they did, but it kind of like reset his timeline and stuff.
They did. But he has more of like a traditional Spider-Man type look.
Yeah, he
Except
does.
the
And
other ones usually his Uncle Ben dies. He didn't have Uncle Ben, so made his Aunt May die.
Yeah, it was sad. I was like, I can't believe they just like killed her off like that. But whatever. I mean, I guess it was coming. But yeah, it was kind of cool to see them reset like that, get him back on the Spider-Man path.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like a nobody at this point. I was like, oh, my heart. But yeah, like there was a lot to unpack in that movie, and William Defoe was hilarious.
He was. He surprised me too.
Mm-hmm.
He really did.
It's funny seeing him as such a villainous role and everything. I can't remember the last time I saw him act like that. So
Right, and like the switch was like kind of like on and off right there, you know, because just like he's like this sweet old man that just doesn't know what's going on, and then all of a sudden he's just like, oh, I'm full blown Joker right now with superpowers.
yeah.
I will crush your spine and drink the spinal fluids. Don't try me, son. I've done it.
It tastes delicious. Um, I was a little bit shocked that and that they gave Spider-Man all his like abilities, his main ones, as far as like the precognition and everything that he was exemplified and
oh, the spidey sense.
Yeah, his spider sense, and then he was getting he got force pushed out of his body basically and was floating around. He's still avoiding Strange and stuff, and I'm like, I thought that was pretty cool. That was like a comic book nod, and yeah, it was kind of cool that they gave him more abilities basically.
Well, it's not even they gave him more abilities. He just like seemed, I guess, more comfortable with it. Tom Holland, that's who he is.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading up on Spider-Man. And apparently, he can give just about anybody to work, but he won't actually beat them or something.
Yeah, like Spider-Man is actually a lot stronger than people think. Like I think in one What If story, he picked up a train car and threw it at somebody.
Yeah, I see.
Just to like let you know, or no, he didn't throw. He slammed it into somebody, I think. Oh. And then one What If story I just saw on YouTube recently. It's like the real thing, or rather, it's from the actual comic book series. He basically like killed every villain that came after him. Like even the Rhino charged at him. He punched Rhino's horn off. Then I think beat him into submission. No, he didn't beat him to submission. He beat him to death, I think.
It's great. Like the darkest version of Spider-Man that I read was Mary Jane. It's like repentance or something when Mary Jane dies and he gives up being Spider-Man. But Venom takes over the city and everything, and he adorns the mask one more time to like fight. It's a very Batman-esque type storyline, but he winds up killing most of his villains, and then he beats the brakes off of Mysterio at the end, just because he could. And this is him in a weakened state where he hasn't been Spider-Man in like 20 years or something. He's like an old man now.
It sounds like an old man Logan story.
Yeah, like he was the crap just blew me because I'm like, this is a Spider-Man just beating the brakes off of everybody, like the comic.
Yeah, and that's what they do when it's like when you see like an old man anything type story from Marvel. Mm-hmm. Know that old man is giving somebody work. He's like, I'm rusty and I don't know how to do this. And then you'll see a headlight come off in the next scene and it's not his. Oh. I forgot how to hold back.
I don't know my power. Like, the fact that he took on Venom at his old age or whatever, the main antagonist of Spider-Man, it's just like, where was this at, 20 years ago?
Right.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite stories of him. But yeah, he's a lot stronger than people tend to forget. Like, it was like I had to read up on him again. There was some comic back in the 70s where Thor came to Earth or something to New York, and Spider-Man was like, he wasn't beating the crap out of him, but Thor couldn't fight back or something because he was just that strong and fast.
Yeah, because like physically he's not as strong as Thor, but he's probably like reflexes a lot faster.
Yeah,
if like provided like Thor's not flying. but Spider-Man is like a lot tougher than you think.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's just but he's built, regular. Like I think his stats is like 5'10", 160 or something like that. So like
he's a small dude. Not small dude, but yeah, normal.
No, but like built like just regular, like a regular dude, and he's like just swole body, and you'll never even notice because he's thrown that car on
you. Right. Man, there's some iterations where Batman gets his spine ripped out and stuff. Like he ain't throwing cars at people. Like,
no.
Even with all that tech.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is what you meant by Giorno. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about for JoJo's?
Yeah, were you talking about JoJo?
Yeah, earlier.
Oh, yeah. Because I thought her name was like Josephina or something. It was something crazy, but
that's the newest one.
Journey protagonist of part 5. Never, it's too many JoJo's. It was kind of funny because I was reading up on how the stands actually got their names, and people just make them up. But each of the seasons are named after a specific quote of one of the Joestars trying to make a metaphor for how like awesome they are, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like hers was like, I'm gonna break through a ocean of stone or something like that, and that's how that was the hyperbole for stonefish, rock ocean or something.
Stone ocean.
Yeah, stone ocean. There you go. I have it somewhere actually. But yeah, I'm not trying to like bore you with too many details.
Very cool.
I saved it. I just don't know where it's at. It was pretty cool to see. Reddit is an interesting place. I call them the internet people. Mostly because they exist in another realm where I will never see them, never get to know them. They have opinions about everything, even things that are not important.
Yeah, basically. Kind of like describes them in a nutshell. No offense to you Reddit people out there. I feel like I was on Reddit for like a long time before it was even like a thing. Or maybe it was a different blog post like back in the day. But that's how I used to learn my anime facts.
facts. Yeah, it's gone. It's lost into the ether.
All right.
Like, why is this saved? Christmas guy.
I
Asian
can't see
dude.
it. Oh, there. Oh, wow. That guy.
Yeah. It's funnier with sound, I promise. But yeah, it's like I don't know why that's saved on there, but yeah, I've lost the train of thought, which means I should probably stop talking. Do you have anything else, Chris?
No, I think we're cool.
Hey. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today and listening to our incessant rambling on some of the things that are important to us, as well as anime, as always. So, thank you for joining us. You can find me at IG at Eric Koopa, capital KLOPA, and Chris.
You can find me at IG at Everybody Loves Chris and on Twitter at BigChris_57.
That's a cool one. Everybody who loves Chris.
Frank came up with that for me.
Yeah, that's perfect. I have no idea how to sign off.
Well, no, thank you, everybody. Oh, you can catch us on YouTube at 3:15.
That's what I always forget.
On Monday, and you can catch us on all podcasting platforms on Monday morning. Probably as soon as you. Well, it depends on what time zone you're in, but Monday. And and what is our podcast handles? Wow. You can catch us at Out of the Berg podcast on Twitter and Out of the Berg pod on Instagram, or it might be vice versa. I don't. I'll probably put them up here. I'll probably start doing that actually. Just put them up there. That way I don't have to remember. But thank you again for tuning in to us this week. We like you. We love you, but we gotta go. So stay black, stay woke. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Out of the Berg podcast. We're available on all podcasting platforms, and we ask that you like, comment, share, and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever we release a new video. And as always, we like you, we love you, but we gotta go. Bye.